Awesome. All right, so I think we are good to go. Um, so today, thank you for joining. Had a little bit of technical difficulty getting started, but I think um, we are good. So today, the main thing that I wanted to cover today, and as a quick announcement, I think I did tell y'all on Wednesday that something really cool is coming to Connect Deck, and then also feel free to give us feedback on Connect Deck, because this is kind of like a really good position for Connect Deck with marketing by Monterey, is that the more feedback y'all give us, the better the platform will be. So feel free to be like, hey, this would be cool or that would be cool, or stuff like that. The So feel free to give us feedback, what you like, what you don't like, what you think will make it better, all that good stuff. But something pretty cool is coming to Connect Deck next week. It might even be available this weekend, but don't quote me on that. But it's definitely be there by next week, and it's called a review link. Um, it's going to be in the funnel, the automation. You'll be able to press that review link, and someone on our end will review your funnel. Because many of you are solopreneurs, many of you may not have, all the technical, aspects and the skill sets, for the funnel. You may want somebody to just review your copy. You may want somebody to just review the graphics and the color scheme and all that, just like one of the ladies just mentioned earlier, all that is going to be really, really good. So it's just a review button, and someone from our team will be able to review it and give you feedback. All right, and so that'll be coming next week. For those of you who are in a position where you are ready to launch or close to launching this week, you can send us an email at support@connectdeck.com and just put the word review in the subject, and we will know to review your funnel. Okay, we'll log in and review your funnel, and then send you an email back with our review. And if need be, we can get on a 5-minute virtual call and give you some one-on-one feedback over a virtual call. All right. So today, what we want to be able to do, because we want to make sure you all win. We want to make sure y'all get stuff done, y'all make the progress with, and help you with, thinking things through. And it requires that we hold your hand through the process. We don't want to be one of those, coaching where it's just we just coaching you from on stage, but not getting up close and personal with you. We want to kind of get in the weeds with you, And so, we want to like create an environment where we can do that. So on today's call, the purpose of today's meeting is we want to be able to, in this office hours, is to kind of walk you through and basically uncover, all the technical nuances that, you all may be, thinking about and stuff like that. And so I'm going to, y'all should be able to, am I sharing? Can you all see my screen now? Um, There is an issue for those of you who's having an issue with Facebook. There is an issue with Facebook. The main integration you want right now is Shopify. That's the main one, right? So if you're having an issue with Facebook, bear with us. We will have that resolved shortly. But the main one is Shopify. That's like the one that can't be broken, because that's good. The Shopify, that's like a deal breaker, So we don't want to. We want to make sure that you can connect. You all should be able to see your products within your product list, and there should be like a Shopify, to know, there should be like, hey, this is a Shopify product. Whether some of you don't have like a SKU number, but it should work anyway, whether you have a SKU number or not. And another announcement, I think this, and y'all could thank Nunu for this. I don't know if she's on a call. But Nunu made a request during one of our sessions, and she was like, hey, can we have the ability to incorporate a discount code along with the add to cart button, so that when somebody presses the add to cart button, it'll automatically apply the discount code for that particular button. And we're pleased to announce that that's available. It's up and running.
Yay, I'm so excited.
Yeah. So let that be a testament that, hey, ladies, you are in a position to help Monterey create a really good software. You know, there might be some issues we're having, but like, bear with us. We can definitely, you know, if you work with us, we will make sure we would listen to your feedback, you know, and hey, and even if you're screaming at us, because I know sometimes when you're having like a technical difficulty, you go, oh my God, this is pissing me off, you know, and you're like all mad or whatever. Trust me, we're not going to get upset. We're going to take it with a smile because we understand, you know. Our job is to hopefully give you, quick feedback and help you get things running and make your life simpler. So what's nice is Monterey has a team of developers. So, you know, the ideas you come up with and the things that can make, things a little bit simpler for you, don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to put in a request. We would look at it and, we can get things going. So thank you, Nunu, for making that request, because not only was it a good idea for you, but it's a good idea for all the other businesses that are on the platform as well. And so I'm not sure if anyone's getting my messages, but I've emailed. I will make sure, Shalissa, that I respond to that personally. So I'll look into that today. I'll make sure that I respond to that, Shalissa. So again, so that's cool. Keep on making your requests, and we'll do our best to get to it and have the team work on it and all that good stuff. All right.
Hi, I have a question.
Sure.
Okay, I may have missed this week. I haven't been able to make it. But is there a recommendation as far as what text app we should be using in Shopify? I know we use Clavio. That's the recommended one for the email.
So for text, Clavio does send out text messages as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Clavio sends out text messages, but like some of y'all don't know that within Connect Deck, you can send out emails as well as text messages from within the platform.
Nunu, you need to post your number in the chat so that we can call you.
I'm screaming. I was on a Zoom call the other day, so that's fine.
Yeah, Nunu was like, "Oh my God, we can send out SMS from within here." Like, yeah, you can. She's like, "Oh my God, that's crazy," So yeah, within Connect Deck, not only can you send out emails within the automation, you can also send out text messages as well. And as time goes on, we're just going to keep on adding more and more features. The whole.
Am I missing a video somewhere? Because I feel like I'm missing. There's a gap with me with the setup that maybe I'm missing videos or something.
So if there is a gap, we definitely going to fix it. However, this session today, we're going to cover a lot.
Okay, let me let
this
you
session,
talk.
the goal for this session is to kind of walk you through the entire technical process from beginning to end. And so let me get started. We're recording, so hopefully we won't go over. But I apologize if I go a little bit over because I had some technical difficulties in the beginning. All right, so let's get started. So for those of you, can y'all all see my screen? Type yes in the comments if you can see my screen. Okay. Okay, cool. All right, so so as y'all can see, I have my let me close down some of these alerts. Okay, so I'm going into my Shopify funnel version 1. And at one quick update that some of you may not be familiar with, and that is, okay, I'm getting like a lot of alerts. Let me put just 1 second, let me just turn my alert thing off. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so one of the updates is all the way over here. Let's make sure. Close this. Come on. Okay, so inside my my funnel, some of you may not have this on Nurture 3 SMS. You may not have this last solid line here. If you don't have this solid line, for those of you who's integrating your products, no, it shouldn't take. If you integrate it today, it may take a few hours, but if you did it this morning, like around 9 o'clock, yeah, it might take. Sometimes it'll happen within an hour. Sometimes it'll happen within 5 or 6 hours. You know, depending on because it's constantly syncing everybody's products. So that's a question for India. So it just all matters of like where you are in the queue. All right. So for those of you who if you click on your Nurture 3 SMS, how many of you do not see a solid line on your Nurture SMS? All right. How many of you do not see a dotted line? If you do not see a dotted line, here's what I need you to do. I need you to click on the line and then hit delete connector. Right. And then after that, you want to click on the Nurture 3 SMS, click on the bottom arrow, and then click on the green branch icon, and then just come over here and click on your second sales page, and it'll draw a solid line. We need that to be a solid line. Okay. And then just hit the save button when you're done. Okay. So the very first thing that you want to be able to do in your process, mine is allowing to redraw the line. Well, you don't. Well, I didn't say about redrawing it. You just want to delete the line. Mine is allowing to redraw the line. All you have to do is just click on this line. If yours is dotted, click on it, and then hit delete. And then hit yes, and it'll go away. And then you want to click on the Nurture 3 SMS again. Click on the down arrow. Click on the yes, there'll be a replay. Click on the green branch, and then just click on the second sales page, and it'll draw a solid line. All right. So once you do that, and yeah, there will be a replay. So once you do this, you'll connect to this, and then just hit your save button. Right. Now, some of you, and I can discuss this a little bit more in depth, but in this particular session, I'm not going to discuss it too much because we've dealt with it in one previous session. But just to give you all a quick heads up is that you want to be able to forecast your numbers. You want to be able to forecast your numbers, right? And so to forecast your numbers, or the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you put in a goal. So when y'all was creating your funnel, if I come over here to the top left and I click on this gear icon, I want to put in, it should open up and show me, my goals, right? And I happen to be in a place where, at least today, in today's session, my internet is a little bit slow. So here I have my goal, and it's gross sales, and I have 5,000, and then I have in a month. And so you can just remove your start date, right? Because we didn't launch yet. and then just hit apply. So it should be like gross sales, whatever amount you want to make each month, and then just put in a month. In other words, I want to make $5,000 in gross sales in a month, right? And I'm gonna hit apply. Okay. And the next thing I want to do is I want to just come over here to forecast. And I want to forecast, right? And I don't want to get too deep in forecasting because this is a conversation all by itself, right? The first thing you're going to do is just going to come over here and you're going to put in your budget. And this budget should be how much do you want to spend every single month on ads for at least the next 6 to 12 months, right? In my case, I got 600, right? Then you want to come all the way over here to your Facebook ad, right? And you want to scroll down. There's a scroll bar in here. You want to scroll down to where it says budget allocation. And there's a couple of fields in here. The first field is click-throughs. The second one is click-through costs. The third one is allocation type. The fourth one is budget allocation. And the fifth one is budget amount. You don't need to put in the budget amount because you already specified your overall budget, your ad budget over here on the right, right? You put the number 600. So over here, what you want to do is you want to make the budget allocation 100%. What does that mean? It means that I am allocating 100% of my $600 budget to Facebook ads. That's what that means. Everybody got that? Right? I'm allocating 100% of my Facebook for the Facebook ad. Okay? Now, if the moment you did that, notice your cost per click defaults to $2, and notice that it automatically lets you know how many click-throughs you're going to have. So if you're paying $2 a click or $2 per page view, and your ad budget is $600, well, $2 goes into 600 300 times. And what that means is there are 300 people who will click on your ad, this Facebook ad, and eventually make it to your opt-in page, right? That's what that means. So now if we go all the way down to your opt-in page, we're going to see that there's 3 fields in the opt-in. There's a UV, which stands for unique visits. The second field is conversions. And the third field is conversion rate. Almost 100% of the time, you will not physically change the unique visits or the conversions. The only number you need to modify is your conversion rate. Now, right now, I have 10 as the conversion rate, like 10%, right? I just typed the number 10. That's all you gotta do is type the number 10. You don't have to worry about the percentages and all that kind of stuff. If you wanted to do like 10.5, you just do 10.5. You know, if you wanted to do 2.38, you can just type in 2.38 and that will be the conversion rate. Now notice when you change the conversion rate, it will automatically populate the conversions because if you have 300 visitors come into your opt-in, but only 2.38% of them convert opt-in, that means 7 of those 300 people will opt into your, who will actually fill out the form on your opt-in page, okay? Everybody with me so far? So mine's was at 10%. I'm gonna keep it there. I'm just gonna have 10. So that means 30 people out of 300 will opt in. Now, that 30 people who opt in, guess what? They will make it to the Tripwire sales page. And that's why in the Tripwire sales page, there's 3 fields: unique visits, conversions, and conversion rate. In other words, now 30 people made it to the sales page, but because my conversion rate is 30%, 9 people should purchase on the Tripwire page. Everybody with me so far with that? That's just basic math at this point, just basic math and a little bit of division, right? And so now those 9 people who convert, right? Those 9 people who convert will make it to the Shopify checkout page. And in the Shopify checkout page, there are 3 fields: unique visits, conversions, and conversion rate. Notice how it's kind of the same, right? Unique visits, conversions, and conversion rates. And notice that the unique visits are 9 because 9 people purchase or click the add to cart button on the Tripwire page. So only those 9 people will make it to the Shopify sales page, right? And notice for the conversion rate, I have 100%. I am assuming, right, and I may be wrong, but I am assuming that 100% of the traffic that comes to my Shopify checkout page will purchase, okay? Why? Because they came to my opt-in page, 30 of them opted in, 30 of those people made it to my Tripwire sales page, 9 of those people said they was interested in buying my product, and then those 9 people came over here to Shopify, and it took them directly to the checkout page. The only thing they got to do is just put in their credit card information, right? It's not taking them to the product detail page. It's not taking them to the shopping cart page. It's taking them directly to the Shopify checkout page, okay? Because I don't want to give them extra steps. I could take them to a product detail page. I could take them to a shopping cart page and they'll see their product in the shopping cart. But I want to make this sale as easy and as quick as possible. I want to take them directly to the checkout page. You told me you want it, boom. All right, come over here and pay for it. You told me you was interested. All right, come over here and take out your credit card and swipe, you know? So I am assuming that 100% of those people are going to purchase, and those 9 people are going to make it to the Shopify checkout thank you page. And so we're good there. So these 2 last pages will be 100 for the conversion rate. Everybody with me so far? If you're with me, just type yes. I'm gonna allow you to ask some questions once I finish this presentation. But just if you can kind of like act like you in church and you know and do that, what do you call it? Like we're gonna be doing a lot of call to action because I want to make sure that you all are following along with me, you know. So I need y'all to be like the amen corner or something. All right. So that explains this piece on the top, right? Now, what if I might not have 10% conversion rate? Yeah, call and response. That's it. I was trying to think of what it was. It was call and response, right? So what if it's not 10%? What if it's 5%? I can change that. I can just put in 5. And notice when I put in 5, the system will do the math. If I do 5% conversion on my opt-in, then 15 people will make it to my Tripwire page, and 30% of 15 is 4. So 4 people will make it to my Shopify checkout page, right? Now, I need to make sure that I do one thing. On my Shopify checkout page, I'm going to click on this gear icon and make sure that I added my product, right? And the whole purpose for adding the product here is basically so that the system can complete the formula for the products. Because like, you know, the AI needs to know what's the product you're selling. So I'm just going to put in 100%, and I'm going to explain what this means. Notice the first field up here is product benchmarks, and it says allocation type. It could be split or mix. Split means out of all the people who make it to this checkout page, which product will they purchase? So sometimes when you have a sales funnel, some people may offer 2 options. They may say, hey, do you want the blue one or the green one? Or they may say, do you want the 10 ounce or the 20 ounce? It's the same product, it's just a different size, you know, or it might be a different color, you know? And so if I had more than one product here, you know, I could say, you know, let's say I had another product here and it was a lash kit, but it was maybe the other option was like a lash kit with extra lashes or something, you know, and I was selling that for like, you know, that particular lash kit was maybe $129, you know, and my profit rate was probably 80%, right? So I can tell the system that out of the traffic, 50% of the people will purchase that, and 50% of the people will purchase this. This is called a product split. That means if you happen to have more than one product on your sales page and you're giving your audience a choice, which we don't recommend, but sometimes it makes sense to do that. Sometimes it makes sense to offer, more than one product on a sales page, but typically it's like, hey, do you want the phone and the phone case, right? So how many people will just purchase the phone and how many people will purchase the phone and the case? So that would be like a product split. They're doing like one, it might be one or the other, right? So it could be, hey, I'm expecting 75% of the traffic to purchase the lash kit, and I'm expecting 25% of the traffic to purchase the lash kit with the extra lash, right? But being that we only have one product, well, here's another one. What if it's a product mix? A product mix is, it can be what percentage of my audience will purchase the first product and the second product, right? So for example, let's say this was a phone, and the bottom one was the phone case, or let's say it was a laptop and a laptop bag. What percentage of my audience will purchase the phone? I may say 100% of the audience will purchase the phone, but only 25% of the audience will purchase the phone case. That means on the page, they will select the phone and the phone case. Just about everybody will purchase the phone, but only 25% of those people will also purchase the phone case. So you can actually do those kinds of combinations. This is next level type stuff, when it comes to forecasting and stuff like that. All right, so I'm just going to click the delete button over here and delete the second line because I only need one. And go back and I'm gonna put my product here because I'm selling a lash kit and I'm selling it for $79. So I'm gonna put in and I'm gonna switch this back to product split. The SKU number is just the SKU number of your product, right? Now, some of y'all don't have SKU numbers. And if I was the e-commerce police, I'll slap you on the wrist and be like, every product should have a SKU number. Why? Because that's just good accounting. It's definitely good for accounting. All your products should have a SKU number. Shopify knows this, but Shopify does not enforce it, okay? Some of y'all have like 500 products, some of y'all have 20, and I know that's gonna be some data entry, but I really wanna encourage you, put some SKU numbers on your products, okay? It's gonna help with identification of your products. It's gonna help it's gonna help your customers locate your products better because all they gotta do is just type in a SKU number, you know what I mean? Sometimes you can have the same product, but just have different colors. Some of y'all have variations, small, medium, and large. Some of y'all are selling weave and you have like different lengths of the weave. All of those different lengths need to have its own SKU number, okay? Everybody with me on that? If you're with me and you understand that, type in the chat, type in the words, just type SKU number, put SKU number in the chat. If you don't have SKU numbers, you need to put SKU numbers on your products, okay? Your products as well as your product variants within Shopify. Now, again, Shopify encourages you to do it. They just don't enforce you to do it. And so, some of y'all don't have SKU numbers. And how do I know? Because, I can look at the data and, I like to look at the data and see what are the trends among the students are, So remember, Monterey is in a position where she's able to look at your data. So and because we're able to look at your data, guess what? We're able to provide counsel. We're able to provide data-driven counsel. We're not just talking from stage. We're able to look at your data and provide you with counsel based on your data. It's like talking to a doctor. From stage, you can ask him a question, he'll give you an answer. His answer will be kind of generic, right? But if you really want a more direct answer and specific answer that pertains to you, the doctor is going to be like, hey, I need to run a physical. I need to run your blood. I need to take your blood and examine your blood and then give you my feedback. That's the kind of coaching Monterey is set to do. She wants to be able to draw the blood of your business, you know what I mean? And do a physical on your business, look at your data, and then provide you with data-driven counsel. That's what's going to help you win the most, And so from what I understand, I think Monterey is the only African-American business coach who actually who's doing that to the masses, who's able to look at all of her students' data and say, hey, how do we provide them with counsel specific to their data? So that's what we're doing, and I'm excited to be a part of that, right? So put some SKU numbers on your products and on your product variants. Okay, so for the SKU number, I'm just going to put in, yep, it's the mob with the mob, with the multiple B's at the end, right? So 100% allocation, put in the SKU number 001. And for those of you, your SKU number, it could just be real simple. It could just be SKU 001, SKU 002, SKU 003. No spaces, right? And just make sure that it's a unique number, okay? For all your variants, same thing. Like, just make sure it's a unique number, okay? So the name is Lash Kit. My price is $79, and I have an 80% profit rate, okay? I have an 80% profit rate. Now, I'm gonna go a little bit further and just explain to you what some of these other fields are, just in case some of you all have what we call like reoccurring or subscription type products. Now, my lash kit that I'm selling is a one-time thing. I'm like, hey, it's $79. I make an 80% profit margin. And I try to make, for me, as a rule of thumb, I'm trying to make 70% profit margin on anything I sell. I don't want to sell anything less that has less than a 70% profit margin. Why? Because I'm about the Benjamins, right? I'm trying to make as much money as possible. So I want my profit rates to be at least 70% or higher, all right? That's just my rule of thumb, okay? So I need to find the right vendors, find the right, cost of goods sold, make sure I have enough value in my product so I can really get a good profit margin, okay? But sometimes you may be selling a product that it's indefinite, and so we can say number of payments is indefinite. What's the pay interval? Once a month. So they pay once a month, or they pay twice a month, or they pay 6 payments, once a month, or they pay 6 payments every 2 months. You can do that, and we can forecast that, okay? For those of you who have purchase delays. So let's say, for instance, somebody signs up and they purchase, but hey, lashes don't last forever, right? So I could be like, you know what? I'm going to hit them with an upsell later on, and I'll get into that in another video, in another session. When we talk about upsells, you can actually have a purchase delay and say, you know what? I'm not expecting this purchase to be made until 4 months from now. So I could put the number 4. So when we're forecasting, we don't include those transactions within the first month, the second month, or the third month. We include them in the 4th month. It's like a delayed sale, okay? And then you also want to keep track of your churn rate, especially if you have subscription models, because just because somebody sets up a subscription doesn't mean they're going to stay, right? You may have a year subscription, but then after 3 months, people fall off. After 6 months, people fall off. So you need to know your churn rate. And so you can just put like the number 5, like a 5% churn rate or a 3% churn rate. Here's another one, your dispute rate. And some of y'all who's been doing e-commerce for a while, you know that sometimes customers will dispute a charge. They'd be like, hey, I didn't get it in the mail, and they dispute the charge. They paid $99, you charge their card for $99, and then they contact their bank and be like, I dispute the charge, or I didn't get the product, or whatever it is, and they're disputed. You need to know your dispute rate, because let's say you have a dispute rate of 4%, right? You put the number 4, and then you need to determine, okay, what's the return rate? Because typically, if there's a dispute, it's either going to end with a return, or it's going to end with a chargeback rate as well as a chargeback fee. You want to be able to determine all those, right? These are the numbers you need to know, because if you're doing e-commerce, you will have disputes. If you're doing e-commerce, you will have a return. If you're dealing with e-commerce, you will have chargebacks, and you will have chargeback fees, okay? And so out of that 4%, the return rate, let's say out of my dispute rate, let's say 50% of the people return the product, But not only do they return the product, sometimes there's a chargeback rate. And I can say, that chargeback rate is 30%. And so what we're basically saying is 30% of this 4%. It's, the return rate is 50% of the dispute rate, right? And then I have to say, okay, well, what's the chargeback fee? And I can just put in a number. The chargeback fee typically is $15. So every time there's a chargeback, right, there's going to be a chargeback fee. And ConnectDeck is able to do all the math and say, okay, this is how many sales you made, but this is how many disputes came in, and this is your return rate, and this is the chargeback rate. This is how much money you actually made once we make all those deductions. Everybody with me, say yes. If you're with me, say yes. And if you have questions, write them down, and I'll get to it. All right. So I don't need these here, so I'm just taking mine off for now because I want to keep it kind of simple. So I don't have the subscription. Mine is just one payment, and so there we go, right? This stuff on the bottom, I'm going to skip it for now, and I'm going to come back to it later, right? Now, remember, because the main thing I'm trying to get to now is forecasting through this piece. So I'm going to hit the back arrow. When I hit the back arrow, all this stuff gets saved automatically. And then notice how when I look to the right now, I got these sales. Now when I look to, oops, did I change it? Let me go back up here. So $79, 80%, it's a one-time payment. And I should have, 4 sales. Look at my average order value. Okay, what am I missing here? Checkout. Flash kit 79. Oh, check out this. Save that. And so I got 15 leads, 4 customers, but it should. Just trying to see it. It should have took my sale. So let me put this number back in. There we go. All right. Because it was just missing this number. I wanted to make sure that this number was being populated. So now when I made that financial update, notice that when I look to the right, here is a summary. Now, I really want you all to catch the value of this, that we haven't launched the funnel yet, right? But right now I know what I can reasonably expect. I spent $600. I'm paying $2 cost per click for Facebook, which means I'm gonna get around 300 visitors. It's gonna cost me $2 per visit. I should get around 15 leads, but it's gonna cost me around $40 to get that lead. I'm having around 4 customers. The average cost to acquire that customer is $150, which is high. I should get 4 orders, and the average order value is $79. My return on ad spend is 0.5, right? And my POAS, which is profit on ad spend, is -6. Okay. This is the reason why over here to the left on my opt-in page, I had a 10% conversion rate. Because when I make it 10%, guess what happens? I get a 1.3 ROAS and I get a 0.1 POAS. What does that mean? It means that my funnel has broken even. I broke even, right? And many of you have to first get to break even before you can get to the profit. The first thing we want to do is I want to get my $600 back, because every single month, I don't want to have to keep paying $600 I don't want to have to keep going in my pocket to pay for Facebook ads or LinkedIn ads or Instagram ads or Google AdWords, or Pinterest, or TikTok. I want my funnel to pay for itself, okay? And remember, if you go to goals and then break even calculator, there's a break even calculator, right? And this is where you can determine your break, your break even point. I put in my product price, which is $79, my profit rate, which is 80%, my ad spend, which is 600. What's going to be my cost per click? I'm averaging $2 a click. Yours may be higher, some may be lower. And then I have a 10% conversion rate. Yours may be higher, some may be lower. And then I'm gonna click run formula. And this will let me know what needs to happen. I need to get 10 products sold. I need 300 people to view my opt-in page. And then I need to have a conversion rate of 10% on my opt-in page. 30 people needs to see my sales page, and my sales page needs to convert at 33%. And my max cost that I can spend to acquire a customer is $63.20, which is 80% of $79, right? This approach will produce up to 30 new leads and 10 product sales and up to 10 new customers, okay? So I take those numbers and I plug them in. I put 10% here, and over here I put 30. Notice how I didn't put 30%. I could have put 30%, but I put 30 just to tone it down a little bit, right? Because these are some high expectations. These are some high benchmarks, And so I got 30%. But remember, I got a second opportunity down here. I have a second sales page. I'm selling the same thing. It's just that I'm giving them a second opportunity down here. And I have that at 30%. I could actually raise that to maybe 40% because I'm targeting warm traffic. Because remember, I'm gonna nurture these people, right? With some emails. And then eventually they should be in a better position to purchase. They should like me more because now they know me. They should know more about my product because I nurtured them about my product. So I should convert more of those people, okay? So now remember, so let's talk about some of the let's talk about one other metric, and that's the metric of this nurture 3 SMS. I think last time we spoke, there's a couple of fields in here. One is process, the other one is open, the next one is clicks, the next one is open rate, and the one after that is click rate. Quick question. So if we're currently at 3 to 4% and have a goal of maybe 6, you can put 6 and just follow the breakdown. So if we currently have a 3 to 4% and the goal, and when you say 3 to 4%, you're talking about 3 to 4% of your opt-in page. Is that what you're talking about, India? The 3 to 4% of your opt-in page, or 3 to 4% conversion rate for your sales page? Which one? Because if you have historical data, if some of you are already running Facebook ads and stuff like that, then we don't necessarily have to use industry standard data. We can actually use your data. Because if some of y'all are getting a 90 cents conversion, a click-through rate, we can put the word 90 cents here, because that's kind of like where you're at right now in your business. If you have no historical data, then I'm gonna say start at $2. Because you may look at your data and you might be paying more per click. You might be paying $2.50 a click, so you want to put in your number. But let's say your opt-in conversion rate is not 10%. Let's say it's 4%. You put 4. Especially if you have historical data, right? And then if you follow the math, right, you're going to see that this is going to be, kind of tight, Nice. So got you, Charlotte. So that's correct. So if it's 4%, for those, for those of you who have historical Facebook ad data, then look at your data, and we actually bringing in a Facebook person next week, so you don't want to miss that class. Remember, our class is next week. The office hours are going to be at 6:30 p.m. because we alternate week after week. One week it's at 6:30 p.m. The other week it's at 12:30 p.m. For 1 hour, okay? So next week office hours will be at 6:30, and we're going to be bringing in a Facebook person, SME or subject matter expert, to help you with understanding the Facebook side of things. All right. So I said we got you. When you part of the mob, there's it's like you guys, ladies, are getting access to some really good stuff. And what's nice is the game that we're giving you now, when you decide to hire your own Facebook person, or if you decide to hire, some consultants, you should now know what to look for, because we're giving you the game. We're giving you the tea right now, so that, because sometimes it's difficult finding people on Fiverr and on Upwork, sometimes you get played, sometimes you get manipulated. People say they could do stuff and they can't, or they say they know stuff and they don't really know it, and because you don't know it, you don't know what questions to ask to make sure that you're picking the right person. And so, we can drop that kind of knowledge on you to help you better vet people you find on Fiverr and on Upwork. Okay, so it's just so that you lower the risk of getting burned. All right. So if you have historical Facebook data, you can look at your metrics, and remember, you don't want to look at cost per click, right? Because the metric that I'm referring to is not readily available in your average Facebook report. Many of you are, you're probably just going to go and say, hey, what's my cost per click? What's my CPC? That's not the number you want. We don't want CPC. CPC stands for cost per click. That is not what we want, right? The number we want is cost per landing page view, okay? We want cost per landing page view, and that is a calculated field. So when you're looking within Facebook, you don't want to use cost per click. It is a calculated field, and next week we're going to show you how to get to that calculated field, okay? Because when someone likes your Facebook ad, guess what? Facebook considers that a click, but they didn't see your page. They didn't even make it to the page. They just click like, and Facebook will count that as a cost per click, as a click. If someone comments, Facebook will treat that as a click. If someone shares it, Facebook will treat that as a click, but that is not a landing page view, right? They did not make it to the landing page. We want to determine what is our cost to get people to come to the landing page, not the cost to get people to click or to get people to comment or to get people to engage. We want to know, how much is it costing us to get people from Facebook to our landing page? Everybody with me? All right. If you're with me, that's what you definitely want to pay attention to that. Okay. So if you got that, type yes in the chat. Right. You don't want to look at CPC. CPC stands for cost per click, and that is not what we want. We want cost per landing page view, and that is a calculated field within Facebook. You got to go digging for it. It's not readily available in the report metric. Right. And you'll be surprised how many people don't know that. Like how many agencies, how many like marketing agencies don't know that. They don't know to look at that. Sometimes these people you get from Fiverr and from Upwork, they don't know to look at that. They're just like, oh, your CPC is like, it's like 80 cents, but your cost per landing page view may be $1.80. That's a big difference, especially when you're talking about, benchmarking, forecasting, and determining how much money you need to spend and all that. That's a big difference, 80 cents to $1.90, So you want to be looking at cost per landing page view. And so the Facebook SME, subject matter expert that we'll bring on next week, will drop the knowledge, because this dude is pretty good. Like, he's just like, he really knows his stuff, all right? So if if I have a 4% conversion rate, then all that, I'm gonna have 12 people, and that's gonna be, I just follow the math, all the way through. If you're good at division and you're good at math, that's the only formulas you need: division and math and subtraction, right? Division, math, subtraction, maybe a little bit of addition. Okay, so you don't have to know algebra, you don't have to know trigonometry. As long as you know division, math, basic arithmetic, and subtraction, you ladies are gonna be good, okay? And even if you're not good at math, just keep watching the replay and you'll get it. All right. So after they opt in, they're going to get a welcome email, right? And so remember, they're going to get this welcome email, and this welcome email also has metrics, right? It has process. Process basically means how many people will this email be sent to. Well, if I have 12 people who opted in, then 12 people is going to be sent this email. Right, but then the next field is open. How many of them opened, right? The next one is clicks. How many of them clicked within the email? And the next one is open rate. And the next metric is click rate. And so, because remember, we want to track everything in our funnel. We just don't want to track the pages and the Facebook ads. We want to track the emails as well. So what's the open rate, right? How many people open, right? So I'm gonna put 20% because that's about the average for email. That's the national average for email. But hey, your open rates might be higher. So for those of you who's using Clavio or you're using Constant Contact or MailChimp, you can look in your metrics and say, okay, what's the open rate that I typically have on my emails? And you can pop that in here. You can say, you know what, typically I have a 33% open rate, or typically I have a 9% open rate, because those matter, right? If you got a 9%, 9% ain't the same as 20%, you know? So your open rate averages may be lower than the national averages. And it's also possible that your open rate averages are higher than the national averages, but you want to put your open rate averages. Now, if you don't have no historical data, start off with 20%, okay? And then as you begin to run your funnel, you'll begin to get more realistic numbers, and then you can just make those adjustments and we can go on from there, right? But right now, we're just simply trying to put in benchmarks, right? We're just trying to say, if you want to hit your goal, we want to have at least a 20% open rate, and then the click-through rate is roughly around 2.5, okay? Those same 12 people, it's going to wait. This is a wait routine, right? And so, and 12 people is going to go through that process. It's going to wait, and then those 12 people are going to get the emails. They're going to get the nurture SMS. Now, when I go back to this email, 12 people saw it, will get it, or it'll be sent to 12 people. But I want to scroll down to the open rate. Open rate again is 20%. Click rate is 2.5, which will tell me here, okay, well, if I have 20% of the people open it, then that means 2 people roughly is going to open it. But notice my clicks is 0. Why? Because 2.5% of 20 is 0. You know, it's like it's less than 1, and there's no such thing as a half a human, right? There's no such thing as a 3/5 of a human. I know they tried to tell us that during like the Jim Crow time, and you know, this whole thing with black people in America and white people trying to think we're 1/5 of a man, but there's no such thing as 1/5 of a man. Right? There's no such thing as 1/5 of a sale. You either made the sale or you didn't. You know, it's either a conversion or it's not. Right. So what this system will do, it would round down to the lowest whole number. Okay, just to prevent the forecast from really from providing inaccurate data, okay? So 2.5 of 20 is 0. So that's the reason why there's no clicks, right? And we need to think about that, right? Now we probably, if I were to raise that to maybe like 5%, that's still, we would need to raise it to like, because if I have 2 people who saw it, well, I need to drive more traffic basically, so I don't even have to necessarily play with this. I just need to drive more traffic, because as I drive more people into the funnel, that's how I'm going to get more people, reading and opening, because now it becomes a numbers game. So you probably could raise it to 25%. Sometimes the lower your list, sometimes the higher your open rates, right? Because the list is not that big, so you might get much bigger open rates, So you probably could raise this to about 30%, but it's still not making that much of a difference. It just means that 3 people opened the email now, but for this particular thing, I'm gonna keep it at 20%. Now we're gonna come to the SMS. SMS, same thing. How many people received it? 12 people received it. And then we have opens, clicks, open rate, and click-through rate. Now, here's what we're going to do on the SMS. For the open rate for the SMS, we're going to put 70%. Why? Because the open rate for SMS is higher, much higher than email, okay? And for the click-through rate, we're going to put 30%, right? We're basically saying 70% of the people will open this and 30% will click on it, right? Now we go to the next step, right? Still 12 people is going to wait one day, and then it's going to send another email, right? And again, 12 people it's going to be sent to 12 people. The open rate is going to be 20%. The click-through rate is going to be 2.5%. We're going to wait again. We're going to wait one more day. We're going to send a third email, nurture email, right? And it's going to have a 20% open rate and a 2.5% click-through rate. And then finally, we're going to send the SMS, and that's going to have a 70% open rate and a 30% click-through rate, which means, right, overall, 2 to 3 people are going to come to the sales page, right? And and when they get to the sales page, right, the sales page is going to have a conversion rate of 30%, but guess what? 30% ain't good enough. 30% of 2 is 0, right? That's the reason why on this opt-in page, I have a goal of 10%. I'm going to put it back to 10% because that's what's going to help me break even, okay? That's going to help me make another sale on this second page. And I could probably even bump this. I could probably bump this up to 45%. Why? Because I should be nurturing my audience, okay? Is somebody trying to say something? Or is that just we good? We're good, everybody? Type yes in the comments if you're following me so far. And if if you're missing a little bit of what I'm saying, I'm almost certain you're gonna love the fact that we're recording this. All right, and I'm trying to pace myself. I'm trying not to talk too fast because I really want y'all to really soak this in and get this. Okay. And as just a word of encouragement, I just want to encourage you, ladies. Some of y'all might be saying, "Oh my guys, this is a lot of information. I didn't know all this was involved." And my response to you is take a deep breath, relax, because this is what business is. Unfortunately, many of you are solopreneurs, which means you're doing this by yourself, right? And because you're doing this by yourself, you are wearing multiple hats in your business. So unfortunately, right, you're wearing multiple hats in your business. Many of you are not digital marketers, but because you're a solopreneur and you're the CEO of your business, you have to temporarily wear the digital marketing hat in your business until you make enough sales where you can hire a consultant or hire an employee to do it for you. So in the meantime, I have to do my best. Monterey has to do her best. And the rest of the team has to do their best to help you become the digital marketer for your business. I know you don't want to be a digital marketer. You want to be a hairstylist. You want to sell lashes. You want to sell skin cream. You want to sell weave. You want to sell soap. That's where your passion is, right? But unfortunately, because you're a solopreneur, somebody has to do the marketing in your business. And when we're starting off small, we have no choice but to wear multiple hats in our business. Now, if you happen to have a bunch of money in your pocketbook, under your bed, in your bra, in the bank, like if you happen to have some money and you don't mind spending it to grow your business, then I encourage you to actually hire a consultant who is a digital marketer who can help do this with you and even do it for you, okay? Because that's really where you're trying to go. You still want to be the CEO, but you don't necessarily want to do everything in your business. I get it. I feel you. I've been there. Other people been there. I know what it feels like. And I know it can feel overwhelming. So I just encourage you, take a deep breath, go get a foot massage. And then when you come back and just be like, okay, I got this. You know what I mean? Go get a head massage, go get your nails done, go in the mirror, go for a walk, go for a jog. And then just, get yourself together and be like, okay, you got this. All right. Remember, you was created in God's image. You're more smarter than you realize. You're more intelligent than you realize, and you're more capable than you realize. So I got faith in you that you can, you have the mental capacity to comprehend this and learn it and soak it in and become the CEO and the digital marketer you need to become until you're able to hire somebody on your team. So I'm believing in you, and I'm gonna do my best to be patient and to answer your questions and to walk you through so that you can get from point A to point B in your business, all right? If you like how that sound, type yes, because I thought that was really encouraging myself. I'm gonna tap myself on the back for that. Because sometimes you just need to hear some, not just encouraging words, but really just like, get it together type words. You got this, you can do this. And the cool thing about it is we're here to help you go through that process. So if we look at the sales conversion rate, 45%, those same people are going to make it to the Shopify checkout page and then eventually to the Shopify checkout thank you page. And when they purchase, an email, right? If I modify this, email event is going to kick off to say, hey, when a specific product is purchased, send this customer an email and then end the automation, right? So from a forecast perspective, I just went through the entire forecast. And notice, if with what I'm doing, right, and I'm gonna bring this back down to 30%. And as you can see, I basically break even. I spent $600. I made 1.3. My POAS is 0.1. I'm now getting back the money that I spent. Now, this is good news, but it's also, some of y'all might be saying, well, you didn't make a profit. I mean, yeah, you made like $32, but the goal was to make 5,000. Now, in order to hit the goal, I have to first break even. Okay? So if I want to hit the goal, I got to perform better than this. Y'all catch that? If I want to hit the goal, I need to have an additional upsell. To hit the goal, I need to get higher conversion rates. I need to get higher click-through rates. I need to get higher sales rates. My Facebook ad need to be popping. My opt-in page need to be popping. You know what I mean? So that I can hit my goal. I got to increase the lifetime value. So here's what I recommend. Even though I'm selling a product for $79, my lifetime value needs to be around $400 to $500. I need to figure out what else am I going to sell this person? Why? Because at this point, it's costing me $60 to get a customer. Well, my product is $79. I'm not making much profit. So I need to make sure I have a lifetime value, an LTV of at least $400 to $500. Because if I can get a customer for $60 and still upsell them via email and SMS, and through Facebook Lives or through Instagram posts and stuff like that, if I can upsell them and increase my lifetime value, well, guess what? Now I'm making a whole lot more money. Okay, so it's one thing to get the customer; it's another thing to upsell them. Okay, so quick question. Tracy says, Shalissa says yes, thank you for that, because I was about to lose it. I understand. We're here with you. Tracy says, quick question: if 30 opted in and 9 brought in first sales page, will nurture email still go to all 30 or the 21 who did not purchase? Yeah, it'll only go to the ones who did not purchase, right? And that's the purpose of this event right here. This is an event that it's a listener, and it says when specific products are purchased, right? What this does, it listens to the database and it says, okay, let me know when a product was purchased and let me know when a specific product was purchased. In this case, my specific product is my lash kit. So when a lash kit is purchased, guess what's going to happen? The system is going to automatically skip over all these other steps, and it's going to jump right to this step, which means they're not going to get an email here. They're not going to get an email here, And, let's say they purchased at this tripwire. They're not going to get these nurture emails. Let's say they purchase after they received nurture email 1. Well, they won't get nurture email 2 or nurture email 3 because once they purchase, it's going to jump right down here. Does that answer your question? Awesome. So this is like a jump to. Yes. Didn't hit the button. So if I already jumped, so Shalissa says, if I already jumped the gun and launched my Facebook ad, but didn't go live, didn't hit the button in the funnel, then will the people who already opted in get the emails? If you didn't turn on your funnel, like if you didn't come up here and click on this publish to live, then you got to do that. Because if this doesn't happen, people will still be able to get to these pages. It's just that when you click on publish, it actually activates the automation. It activates these other images. I mean, I'm sorry, these other automations. But the pages will automatically be there. Okay. So I still got a few more ways to go. So, and remember, y'all can catch this on a replay. But I want to make sure that I finish. I want to make sure that I finish this. Okay. So, so here's a few things you need to remember now. So I'm gonna come back over here to this Facebook ad. One of the first things you need to do on this Facebook ad, you click that gear icon. You need to make sure this says Facebook, and you need to put in your UTM sources. This needs to be Facebook. This usually needs to be CPC. This needs to be the campaign name, 2021. Oh, in this case, 03, because now it's March. So 2021 is the year, dash, we can actually do underscore, underscore 03, underscore the name of your campaign. And mine's is gonna be Lash Kit, all one word. I'm gonna separate it, Lash underscore Kit underscore campaign, right? Now you can call your campaign whatever you want. It just needs to be something unique. It needs to be something that you can easily recognize when you read it, right? Then when you come down here to the UTM content, this UTM content, right? It should be your ad name. So you can say like, ad set, 01, and then underscore ad 01, right? And what I'm doing here is I'm basically saying my ad set and my ad, okay? My ad set underscore 01, and then my ad, which is ad underscore 01, right? Now, because if I have another ad set or another ad, let's say I wanted to split test my ads, I would just say ad underscore 02, and then in Facebook, I will create a campaign. This will be the name of my campaign. This will be the name of my ad set. This will be the name of my ad. And when we have the meeting for next week to talk about the Facebook ads, we'll show you exactly how to set this up within Facebook, right? So I want to have my UTMs, and I'm just going to hit the back arrow. And so now all my UTMs are set up here. And then when I create a Facebook ad, I can just copy those UTMs and put them over there, okay? Now when I get to my opt-in page, I'm going to hit the gear icon. And here's the change I want to make. You see right here, it says path. And if you look at this path, my path says my offer, and then there's like just some numbers and letters and all that. So I'm going to actually give this a much better thing. I'm just going to call it my ebook offer. Whatever my ebook, I'm gonna come up with like a path name that kind of just makes sense, has a nice ring to it. And so in my case, my ebook I think is like it was something about like why magnetic lashes and glue lashes are obsolete. So I might like maybe I'll say like the end. I don't know. I'm just gonna say my ebook offer for now. I'm gonna put my ebook offer. Some of y'all might say, if you're, you might have like better skin, better skin tips or something. But in this case, I'm gonna put my ebook offer, right? And when I do that, notice up here, the data package alias changed. Also, it just basically becomes the same thing. You don't have to change this up here. Just change this path, and up here will automatically change because we need a data package alias, okay? And I'm gonna explain more on that later. So I changed my path, right? I can go into my page by hitting the edit page button, right? And when I'm inside the page, I can just, make my changes like I normally would, right? As we told you how to do this in other sessions, you just click on this image icon, and to the left is going to be your properties. You're going to have property sections. Within each section, there are properties, and then I can just locate the property that I want to change. In this case, select primary image, and I can just click on the ellipsis, and this will open up my file manager. And file manager has two categories. It has my files, which are all the files that I upload, and then it has system files, And this is all of the files that Connect Deck uploads. So you want to basically put your files in the My File section. And to do that, you just come over here to the top right and click Upload. And when you click Upload, it'll open up your File Explorer on your computer. You can locate the files and hit Open. Here's a cool thing too. You can select multiple files at a time, and you can hit Open, right? You can also upload PDFs because that's what you use to so that people can download the PDF, okay? And so you can upload your logos and all that. To change the text, if you have a header text, you can just double click in it and you can just, start typing, or you can just click on the pencil icon and click on edit text, and that'll also put you in edit mode and you can start typing, okay? If you want to change the colors, you can look over here to the left, and there's going to be header properties, and you have, your content, your style. You can change the colors, you can change the font size, the fonts, the weight, the line height and all that good stuff. Same thing for your headings and your paragraphs. They all work kind of the same way. Now for your buttons, you click on your button to the left, you're going to see button properties, and you want to go to, text, and you can just locate the text property, and you can actually change this. Like if I wanted this to be, yes, I want checklist, I can type that, and there it is, And once I leave the field, it'll update, but I'm gonna keep it ebook for now with that exclamation point, I can change the colors, I can even put in a subtext. So there's another property section called subtext, and I can say, hurry, and I can just put that there. I can change the color of that if I wanted to. I can change the font of that. So I can actually have a second line, If I don't want it there, I can just remove it and it's gone. I can also add, if I go to text, I can also add icons, If I go to the text property section, I can scroll down where it says left icon and right icon, and I can click on the ellipsis. When I click on the ellipsis, the file manager opens up, and then I can just click on system files, and these are a bunch of icons. I can select one of these icons, and it'll put it on the left, or I can select the right icon, and I can put it, on the right, and I can just remove it just by highlighting and just hitting delete to remove it. And so now the icon only shows up on the right, okay? So I don't want to go too much into editing stuff, but like, there's just a quick, way you can change, you can change your backgrounds and all that good stuff. Now, once you're done, all you need to do is hit the save button, all right? And this page will be saved. Now, all of these buttons, if you click on this button, I do want to share one thing because the form is on the bottom, right? So when you click this button, it's going to automatically scroll people to the bottom. How did we do that? Because on the bottom, there's an anchor widget. And this anchor widget comes from over here, like in the widgets, there's something called an anchor widget, and you can just click on it and just drag it, and bring it on a page, right? Now, I already have one right over here. It's right above my where should we send your free ebook offers, anchor widget. When I click on it, I can go to the right and it says anchor info. And all it is, I just have a name. It says opt-in form. That's all you need to do. You don't need to do nothing else, right? And now, so anytime you have a button, I can click on this button and I can go to the button info and I can scroll down to where it says URL. As long as my button type is basic, right? I can come over here to where it says link URL, and notice it's the exact same name of my anchor. The only difference is I have the number sign in front of it, right? And what that does is when somebody clicks on this button, it'll automatically scroll them down to this section, right? And notice on the opt-in page, we have one button here. We have another button right here under the testimonial, and we have another button here at this section. And all of these buttons all use the anchor tag, right? They consume it. So when I click on it, it's going to scroll the page and locate the anchor tag and scroll them right down. So if they're on a mobile device, it's going to automatically scroll them. It's not going to bring up a pop-up. It's just going to scroll them right down to that section, okay? Let's talk about the form for a moment. Notice how this form has 3 fields. It has a full name field, an email field, a phone field, and a submit button field, right? Now let's click on this, on the field, enter full name. When I click on it, remember the properties will always show up to the left, and you can always know what kind of widget you're on because in the top it's going to say field properties. If I click on this header, it's going to say heading properties. If I click on this button, it's going to say button properties, right? If I click on this anchor tag widget, it's going to say anchor properties. If I click on the region, it's going to say region properties. You know, if I click on this one here, this is the column, and I go to properties, it's going to say column properties. And if I click on the blue square and go to properties, it's going to say grid properties, okay? So that's how that works. So I'm going to click on the full name field, and when I go to the left, it's going to say field properties. And notice that there are 4 property sections: field info, label, style, and global style. If I click on field info, right, the main thing I want y'all to notice here is that there's a form ID. And the form ID right now is form 01. You can make it whatever you want, but by default, we put form 01. Why did we put that here? Because it's possible that a page can have more than one form on the page. It's possible. We don't recommend it, but it's possible. There are times you may want to have more than one form on a page, right? So in the event that that happens, ConnectDeck needs to know which fields and buttons are associated with a form, right? So we have just a label, a form ID, form 01. And if I click on the email field and then look to the left, go to field info, it's the same form 01. If I click on the phone, go to the left on the form info, form 01. If I click on the button, go to button info, it says form 01, okay? So what does that mean? When this submit button is pressed, it says, okay, what's my form ID? My form ID is form 01. Let me search the page for any other fields that have form 01, okay? And this is really cool because it doesn't matter where my button is. My field can be over here, you know, but it's still part of the same form. This field could be way on the top of the page, but it's still part of the same form, okay? So I'm gonna put it back over here. Okay, that was weird. There we go. Right, so it's part of the same form, okay? Now let's talk about this submit button, because some of y'all, I think you've had an issue with this, so I'm gonna provide some clarity. Remember, none of this stuff is magic, okay? None of this stuff is magic. The computer is not magic. The computer is simply following instructions. So when you click on this button, we have to tell ConnectDeck what to do when this button is pressed, right? So we're going to come over here. When you click on this button, you come over here to the left. It says button info. What's the form? What's the button type? It's a form submit, right? Well, what's the form ID? It's form 01. What's the form title? It defaults and it gives you all these, like this custom GUID number, which is like a bunch of numbers and a bunch of text, but we don't know what that means. So what we're going to do is we're going to give the form a name. And I'm just going to call this my ebook form. And I might even, like, you know, give it a version like V01, right? So now what will happen is this form, when we hit save, ConnectDeck will save this as a form. And this will be the name of the form, okay? And all the people who filled out this form, their names and information will be associated with this form, okay? Now, if we keep on scrolling down, there's a field here that says, it says link to connecting page, right? Notice how that's going to be checked by default, right? We can connect to the other page. Another way to do it, right? If this says a link to connecting page, what this does is ConnectDeck says, hey, I already know what page you're connected to, right? Because if I hit save here, it says I already know what page you're connected to, right? So you don't have to tell me what page to connect to because I already know, because in your blueprint, you connected it to a sales page, right? So you can do that, or you can uncheck it, and we can go here to link URL, and we can just click on the ellipsis, and it'll say, hey, what do you want to link to? Do you want to link to an event? Do you want to link to a file? Do you want to link to a web page, a product, or other? We want to link to a web page. When I hit continue, guess what's going to happen? It's going to show me all the web pages in my account that's on this particular site, right? It's like my site 975. It's going to show me all the web pages. Now, can you see the confusion of why it's important to have like good names? Because now I'm like, okay, what's the difference between these? It needs to be legible. So remember how we changed this to call it my ebook offer? So I need to go back to my sales page and give it a much more clearer name so that I can know which one to click on, because right now I don't know. I'm just going to click on this back arrow. All right, I'm gonna hit save and save my page, because everything here would be done. But I just need to know what is the name of that page. So I'm just going to close this, and it's going to take me back into my automation. And then I'm just going to come over here and click on this Tripwire sales page, click on the gear icon, and I'm like, okay, it says my Tripwire. I'm just going to take all this other stuff off, and I'm going to say, you know, my offer is, I'm just going to type in Lash Kit Offer 01, right? So that's going to be the name of my sales page, Lash Kit Offer 01, okay? And I'm going to hit, you know, the back arrow. And then I'm going to come over back here to this opt-in page, click on the gear icon, edit page. Now I know what page to select, because my naming convention is more clearer. Because when we imported the template, it kind of like added some just unique identifiers just to, so it can rename the pages. So now when I scroll all the way down and I click on this submit form button, I'm gonna go to button info. I'm gonna say link URL. I'm gonna click on the ellipsis. What do you want to link to? I want to link to a website page. I'm gonna hit continue, and boom, Lash Kit offers right here. I'm gonna select it. So now when this button is pressed, two things is gonna happen. It's gonna save this record into the database within Connect Deck, and it's going to navigate me to this URL. Okay, so now I'm done. I can hit save. This page is done. And now, of course, that's considering you updated all your copy and, you know, change your color schemes and stuff like that. Okay, so now I want to hit save, and then I'm gonna hit the X button in the top right just to close it. And this is going to bring me back into the blueprint. Everybody with me so far? Say yes if you're with me. I know this is going a little bit overboard as far as the time, but I want to make sure that I just walk through. And for those of you who are who have to go, feel free to go. I'm still going to record it and show you how to get all the way through. Okay. So now I can go to my Tripwire page. I can go to my Tripwire page, and I'm gonna hit the gear icon. And I already gave it a new name, so I don't have to change the name. My path is good. And I'm just gonna click on the edit page. And this is gonna open up the page editor, right? And I'm gonna make whatever changes I need to make to this page, just like how I showed y'all on the opt-in page, changing the text, changing the logo, changing the button. But there's one thing I wanna show you that's gonna be different, right? That we didn't cover before. And it has to deal with the Shopify integration. Like that's why I said that Shopify integration was very, very key, because this is where we're really you're gonna see the benefit of it. So remember how, like, you know, this is your Tripwire. So we're gonna be like, hey, thank you for, you know, requesting the ebook. You know, are you ready to start getting this benefit? You know, check out this special offer below. So you design your page however you want it to look. And then when we get to this button, notice how there's a call to action button throughout the page, right? There's an add to cart button. I'm gonna click on this buy now button. And then over here is going to open up the button properties, because that's all this is, just a button. Now remember, when you go to the property section the property has multiple property sections. In this case, there's a button info text, subtext, segmentation, button style, event tracking, and global text. We want to go to button info, right? And we want to make sure that the button type is add to cart, okay? Remember, there's only one button within Connect Deck, but that one button can do quite a bit of stuff, right? We want to select add to cart, okay? And right below that, there's going to be a SKU number. So I'm going to click the X to remove what's here. There's a SKU number. And what we want is we want to add our Shopify product right here. That was the purpose of the integration. When I click on this ellipsis, right, it's going to open up and show me my products, right? And I should see my Shopify products right here. So I'm going to select the Shea Lash Kit. And now the Shea Lash Kit is right here. I'm going to scroll all the way down. If link to connecting page is checked, just uncheck it. And then we're going to go down here where it says use third-party checkout on click. So We want to use that. We want to do direct to third-party checkout, right? So what does that mean? That means when they press this button, this buy now button, it's going to automatically add the Shea Lash Kit to the Shopify checkout page. It's going to automatically add it to the Shopify cart, and it's going to take them automatically to the Shopify checkout page. Okay. So where it says use third-party checkout on click, you can select add product to third-party shopping cart. And what that will do, it'll add it to the shopping cart and take them to the shopping cart page. But we want the second one. It says direct to third-party checkout. We want to add it to the shopping cart and navigate them to the Shopify checkout page. Okay. We don't have to put in a link URL because ConnectDeck automatically knows where to navigate them. Now, here's a bonus. Thank you, Nunu, because she made this request and our dev team was able to make some updates and make it available. So if you scroll down a little bit more, it's going to say discount code to append. So in our Shopify store, we have a test sale. We have a discount code called test sale, and where we give people, I think, either 10% off or $10 off, right? And so I want to include that when they come to this page, right? Because when they click on this button, not only do I want to add the product to the shopping cart, I also want to navigate them to the checkout page, but I also want to give them the discount and apply the discount code automatically, right? So all I got to do is just where it says discount code to append, I just type in the name of my discount code. No spaces, just test sale. And that's it. I would do that for all of these buttons. I would come over here where this says add to cart, and I'll come up here where it says, button info, and I would add my product, Lash Kit, and I'm going to say direct to third-party checkout. I'm going to uncheck link to connecting page, and then for the discount code, I'm going to type test sale. I'm going to do the same thing down here. Add to cart. Yes, Bonisha, you can ask your question. I'm just going to be updating this real quick. Add to cart. Select my SKU number. Can you type your question real quick, or can we copy style for the buttons like you did? Yes, you can copy the styles. And I'll show you a quick technique real quick. So I want to use third-party on checkout. So I want to use direct to third-party checkout. I'm going to uncheck the link to connecting page. And then for the discount code, I'm just going to put test sale. So now, and I got one more place on the bottom, add the cart. I'm going to select the SKU number, same product. And then I'm going to uncheck link to connecting page. For the use third party, I'm going to select the direct to third party checkout. And then for the discount code, I'm going to put test sale. I'm going to hit save. And boom, that was a simple integration with Shopify. So when somebody presses this button, it's going to automatically add the product to the shopping cart, take them to the checkout page, and apply the discount, right? So someone had a question about the color scheme for the button. So let's say I have this button right here. Let's see, notice how this button here, let's see, like these two buttons kind of, let's say I wanted to kind of apply the same style, so I can just come up here to this add to cart. I'm gonna click on it and I'm gonna say, I want my button to be red and just be outrageous and make it red. And I also want the width to be just a little bit wider or something like that, 350 width, and I want my font to be bold. So I'm gonna come up here where it says text, and I'm gonna change my font weight to bold. Actually, maybe not bold. I keep it 500. I'm gonna make it because you can kind of see it changing. There. I'm gonna keep it. Bold. I keep it bold. And I'm also gonna change the color. I'm gonna change this color right now to like kind of like that color, even though it doesn't match, but I did it just so I can have some quick changes you can kind of see. I don't have to come over to each of these buttons and change the style. I can actually just come over here to this button, hover over the edit, and I can do copy style. I don't want to do copy. I want to do copy the style. And then I can come to this other button and I can hover over it, over the pen, the pencil, and I can say paste the style. See what it did? And it pastes the style. That's the reason why it made it left justified. Because this button up here was left justified. We said copy the style, and ConnectDeck did just that. It copied the style. And then I can come down here and I can say paste style as well, and it pastes the style. Okay. If I, and then I can just quickly update this to say, make the button center, so I can just do that. And here's the thing I wanted to share with you all also. Feel free, like, make as many suggestions as you want. Like, if you don't like the way something is working and you think, hey, I think this would be better, give us those advice. Let us know. Let us know, because Monterey is definitely open to updates and feedback and critical feedback. We want to make this thing as simple for you as possible. So always give us some feedback so we can make those updates. All right, so I'm just going to hit the save button. And now this page is done. Okay. And remember, if you want to see how this page looks like on different breakpoints, you can just click on the breakpoints on the top. You can say, okay, this is how it looks on a mobile. This is how it looks on a bigger size mobile. This is how it looks tablet, with, laptop, desktop, and a much bigger monitor desktop. Okay. So when I'm done, I'm just going to hit the X. Everybody with me? Say yes. Hopefully you're not getting sleepy on me, but I know this is a little bit long, but I think this is like the main event. This is what, most people really, they're like, hey, give us the meat, give us the potatoes, give us the, like the sweet potato pie, give us the yam, like everything. Just give it to us, chicken, the turkey, so this particular presentation, I know it's kind of a little bit long, but it really, I want to make sure I kind of cover everything so that you don't get stuck. Does anyone know if Shopify has an app for order bumps or one-click upsells? So yes, you can actually do order bumps. Shopify has apps, right? But the cool thing about it is you can actually do an order bump, right, within ConnectDeck. You can actually add, you can actually add your order bumps before they even get to the checkout page. So that's kind of cool. You can do upsells before you even get there, and you have more control over it. Okay, because Shopify doesn't give you the ability to modify their checkout page unless you purchase the Shopify Pro. Because the Shopify Pro is like $2,500 a month, right? And you're going to need a developer. So you can actually add other pages, to this, and we can add upsells, to this before they get to the checkout, and in another video, in another presentation, I'm going to even show you another solution that you can actually do, where you can actually do an order bump right on the order page. But I'm gonna give you, but that's a whole nother different technique and approach that I'm gonna give you, probably next week or the week after next. I want to make sure that I follow Monterey's rules and kind of stay within the confines of the blueprint, and not go too far out, because there's a lot you can do with ConnectDeck, but we want to keep it focused for now. But there's a lot of other bells and whistles that I can share with you, if for those of you who want to flex your upsells and downsell chops, you know what I mean? All right, so let's test this real quick, right? So here is an opt-in page, here's a tripwire, we got our Shopify checkout, right, and all that. To test this, I'm just gonna hit save. All right, yes, I needed this whole meal. Awesome. So hit the save button, and now to test this, I'm just gonna, notice how I didn't finish everything else on the bottom. I just wanna test this real quick. So I'm gonna go to this opt-in page, and I'm gonna click view, right? And then I'm gonna go in test mode. And this is gonna open up the opt-in page, and it's gonna take me to the test mode. And I'm gonna cross my fingers and make sure I did everything correctly so I don't look like a fool. And so here's my page, right? And if I click on the button, it should take me down to the bottom, right? And if I type in, enter full name, I say like, test contact, and then I put in my email address, and put in samuelgenus.gmail.com. And then for the phone number, 704-555-5555, right? So now when I hit submit, it's processing, and it should take me to my Tripwire page. Boom, there we go. Whew, I feel relaxed now. It actually works. Because when you're testing, like some stuff can happen. So it's like, you always want to make sure your funnel is working. So now it took me to this page. And I remember what I told y'all about the buy now button. So now when I'm reading this, I'm like, okay, great. Your ebook is on the way. Hey, check out our offer. So I got a buy now button here, buy now button here, buy now button here, all these different places, right? Now I'm going to click on the buy now button. So when I click on that buy now button, right, it's thinking. Boom. There we go. It took me to the Shea Parish Lashes checkout page, right? It applied the discount and it added it to the shopping cart, right? And then a person can just go through and continue shopping. All right, everybody with me so far? If you with me, say yes. Okay. Okay, awesome. And so now I can actually go through and put in this process for those of you who have like a test. In Shopify, you can do test purchases, but you have to set it up within Shopify. In your Shopify store, you have to set up a, let me see if I can go to it real quick. If you just want to like test the purchase, got all these test Shopify accounts. So let me go to Shea Parish Lashes, and that's going to open up, my Shopify store. I can go over here to online store, click on online store, and actually not online store, I'm sorry. You want to click on settings. Scroll all the way on the bottom and click on settings. And then I'm going to go to, I think it's payments. It's payments. And then what you would do is you just scroll down and you would select third-party payments, and then you would select the first one, which is the bogus, test for bogus payments, for testing bogus gateway. And that's what you want to use if you want to test your purchases, and you can actually, Shopify will give you like a certain, I think it's like the number one, and you can put that in. Instead of putting in the credit card number, you put in the number one, and that will process a bogus payment, if you want to like test the rest of the stuff within your Shopify account, okay? So if I come back over to Connect Deck and I hit the close button, and remember the person's name was Test Contact. If I come back over here to contacts, right? And then click the sub contact here, here's my contact. Test Contact, Samuel Genus, the phone number, I can open it up, and this is Test Contact record. So within Connect Deck, there is a small SCRM, and you have name, email, address, you have notes, you got segmentations, I can add segmentations, if I want, if this person is a lead, I can type in the word lead, and I can, add them as a lead. I can add tags, I can put in their website, demographics, address, and stuff like that. Just some basic information within, for the record, okay? So now
hey, Sam, I got a question real quick about that. Sorry to interrupt.
Sure.
So I have like Clavio. In order to sync the two together, do I have to constantly import and export, or how does that work to get it over to Clavio or PostScript?
Yeah, so actually, who is this? Is this Nunu?
Yeah, it's me.
Okay, yeah, so actually, before we had to do like a manual export, manual export, but if I'm not mistaken, Tuesday, it would automatically just move over. So you won't have to do no manual, but that's coming Tuesday. It'll be available this Tuesday within Connect Deck.
Okay, perfect. So are y'all going to have an integration where I can integrate it to Clavio, or y'all just got a way that it syncs to Shopify and it just does its own thing?
Yeah, what's going to happen is when you come over here to settings and you come over here to integrations, you're going to see Clavio in this list. And so
so PostScript, I might be asking for too much if I say we can get a PostScript or for the
you're asking for a lot. Yeah, you're asking for a lot.
Let's take
it one thing at a time.
So here's the cool thing. What's nice is Clavio does send emails and SMS as well too. Here's what I could tell you that's on the map, right? Because I had a meeting with Monterey 2 days ago. And I can tell you what's coming down the pipe for integrations. The two things that's coming down the pipe for integration, actually three. One is Zapier integration, because that's a big one, right? Because if we can connect to Zapier, then there's a lot of things that can connect to Zapier. But the other one is Clavio, right? And the reason why we're connecting to Clavio and why that's like on the top of our list is because that's what Monterey uses and that's what she recommends. So we were like, okay, let's put that on the top of the list as well. So
Great,
those
I use all three of them.
Yeah, and Postscript, the other two that's on the list is Planali and Postscript, because those are the tools that Monterey uses, you know. But to get off the ground, we wanted to make sure we had Shopify first. And Facebook is something that we really need also. There was just a challenge that we had with Facebook, but that's coming as well. You know, it's already here. It's just that there was a bug that we have to fix. So will we be able to use the templates in Clavio? Well, Clavio is Clavio. Whatever templates are in Clavio. What's nice is you can create all kinds of templates within ConnectDeck. So it's like, you know, what Monterey did is she created a blueprint and then gave that blueprint to y'all. But think about how powerful that is. Like, to be able to create a blueprint, design it with emails, with SMS and all that other stuff, and then hand it to her students. Well, the same thing could be done with emails. The same thing can be done with SMSs within ConnectDeck. So what Monterey is actually working on, she's actually going to be creating multiple templates, multiple email templates. You know, she might even go into Clavio and be like, hey, what are some of the best templates in Clavio? And she might create those templates and move them over into ConnectDeck so that the templates are already in ConnectDeck and in Clavio as well. You know, and here's a crazy part for those of you who are designers and you're good at like creating layouts and templates, you will be able to create templates and save them in the marketplace, and all of Monterey's students will be able to access the templates you made available in the marketplace. You know, and so like those things is available. And then if I'm not mistaken, sometime in April or May, you will even be able to sell templates you create inside of the marketplace. You know, so if you got your stuff together and you figured out a nice flow, you can be like, hey, I want to create a template, and you can make that template available in the marketplace and put a price to it. And then other people who want to use your template, they can actually purchase, and you get a commission, and Monterey gets a cut. So that's the kind of stuff that's coming to the network, because, you know, some of y'all may be good with, you know, UI and design, and you may be good with, laying things out. You have that touch, you know, like some people, they're like interior designers. They know how to design a house. You know what I mean? Some people are good at designing pages. Some people are good at graphics. Some people are good at, you know, laying things out. And so if that happens to be part of your specialty, or you're capable of doing that, you know, you can actually be a part of the network and make your templates available to the mob, you know, the mob network, you know what I mean? And eventually add a price to it. Like, hey, here's a template for like $29, or here's a template for $49. You know, you can do stuff, you'll be able to do stuff like that. You know, make sense? But Clavio is coming next week. Zapier, I think Zapier is coming either next week or the week after next. But Clavio is definitely coming next week, because we need that, you know, and Postscript is coming. Planali is also coming, but I don't think it'll be available next week. For those of you who want to, who are planning out your, what do we call it? Like your social media posts and stuff like that. Because Monterey wants to have like one location where y'all can easily plan out, you know, not plan your funnel, but also plan your posts and stuff like that, where it's really easy for you to manage. You know, we're just trying to make a nice, easy button for you, you know? So help us make it easier for you by giving us as much feedback. If you don't like something, let us know. Be like, oh, I hate that. That's, you know, I wish y'all would remove that, or I wish y'all would change that. This is pissing me off. Let us know. And we'll do our best to make those updates. Does that answer your question, Nunu?
Yes, I'm so excited. I have another question, but what I'll do is I'll just get on a Zoom call with you, and that way I can ask you about those integrations and whatnot.
Awesome. All right. So if okay, so we went to our contacts and And we have our contact here, so we're good there. I can go back to the funnel, and I'm going to open up my test funnel again. And now I'm going to, just like fine tune, my emails, right? I'll just come here into my emails and, hit the gear icon and then go to edit emails. Now, remember, when you go into edit emails, the only thing you got to be concerned about, there's 2 or 3 things you want to be concerned about. Is of course, you want to modify the email to make sure your message and everything is there. But you want to put, your sender name up here, and then to the right, my page is still loading. You want to put your sender name here. So I would put, Jane Doe here. I would also put, Jane Doe here. But then for the sender email, I would just put the email, Jane Doe at shayparish.com. And I can do the same thing down here, Jane Doe at shayparish.com. Now, when it comes to the send to name, right, I don't know the person's name because I don't know the name of the person who's going to fill out the form in the future, right? Because I don't have no magic ball or anything like that, a crystal ball to be like, oh, I already know the person's name. So I got to use a variable. And for those of you who are familiar with like word processing, they have like what we call merge fields, where you can take fields from a database and merge it into a document. Well, you can do the same thing within here. Is that in this email, I can click on this send to name, and I'm going to, on the top left, you're going to see pages, sections, widgets, properties, and data, right? And when I click on data, notice what we see, the name of my opt-in form, my ebook offer. When I click on that, we're going to see 2 options, web form info and audit. I'm going to explain what audit in another video. Right now, y'all don't need to worry about it, but I'll explain what it means later, because some of y'all might benefit from it, but I think most of y'all will not. So I'd rather not mention it now just to keep you all focused. But web form info, you want to click on web form info, and then you're going to see 2 more options, form record and contact info. We want to click form record because on that opt-in page, there was a form, and that form has fields. And when we click on it, it shows us these were all the fields that was on that form. And you may say, well, Sam, there was only 3 fields on the form. That's because these other fields was hidden, okay? But notice we had a full name, email, and we had a phone number. Those are the ones we want. So I'm gonna click on full name, and when you click on it, it turns green, which means it was copied to the clipboard. And then I'm just gonna come over here to the send to name, and I'm gonna right click and just do paste. And notice when I do paste, it's a variable. So what's gonna happen is when somebody fills out the form, the system will say, let me scan the database, locate the record, and pull this field. And whatever name is in this field, that's what I'm going to use here. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go down here to click on email. Email turns green, means it was copied to the clipboard. I'm going to come over here to send to email, and I'm going to right click and do paste. If you're on a PC, you can do Control V. I forget what the keyboard combination shortcut is on the Mac, so I apologize. I don't remember. For those of you who may know, you can use the keyboard shortcut. Somebody type it in the chat, whatever the paste keyboard shortcut is for the Mac, right? And then for the subject, it was like, were you waiting for this, right? That was part of the swipe file here. And then for the pre-header, we didn't have anything for the pre-header, but a pre-header sometimes can be used for, like, I can be like, hey, this, you really want to pay attention to this, and what this will do is when someone is looking at their email list, because how like when you get an email, before you open the email, you have a list of emails, and it's going to show the person's name, the sender's name. It's going to show the subject of the email, and then it's also going to show you this pre-header if you have one there. If you don't have one there, then it's not going to show it. But if you have one there, it's going to show you the pre-header. What's the purpose of the pre-header? To get them to open the email, right? So changing the body of your email doesn't help the email get open. Changing the name, the sender's name, the subject of the email, and the pre-header, that's what increases your open rate, okay? Now, here's another technique. For the sender name, you can say like Jane Doe, and then I can be like lash care specialist, you can do stuff like that, like marketing by Monterey can be like, hey, Monterey, your, business coach, and so you can kind of do stuff like that, okay, to help with the open rates. Now, for this ebook, there's a button here where they can download the ebook. So you can click on it, and I don't have a PDF, but if you click on this button here, notice to the left, it's going to say email button properties. I'm going to click on button info, and notice the button type is basic. But if I scroll down, I'm going to see a link URL, right? And if I click on the ellipsis, it's going to open up my file. This question, what do you want to link to? I don't want to link to a web page. I want to link to a file this time. And I'm going to hit continue. It's going to open up my same file manager, right? And I'm just going to locate my PDF. If my PDF is not in here, I'm going to click on upload, and I'm going to, look for, my PDF. So let me just see if I can. I'm just going to type in .pdf, see if I got one that I could use real quick. I'm just going to search. All right, so here is a a PDF here. I'm just going to select trying to see which one. I forget what all this stuff is. E-commerce checklist. Click on that, and I'm gonna hit open, and notice what that does. It's going to, oh, did I click on it? Yeah, so it uploaded the PDF. It just took a while for it to upload. All right, so now I uploaded my PDF, and I can just click on it and do insert. And so now when someone clicks on this button, it'll open up the PDF, right? So you don't have to worry about where do I save my file. Everything gets saved right here. Make it nice and easy for you, okay? When you're done, just hit save. And here's another thing. Some of y'all was asking the question, and I think it was Nunu. I think it was Nunu, or maybe not. Somebody was asking a question about, and actually I thought I had the answer to that. So I'm gonna have to pause because I thought I had the answer to that. I'm trying to remember if I did or if I didn't. And I don't, so I can't answer that yet. I thought we had a place where we can test the email right from here. We can actually like send it to a few people.
Yeah, that was me. That was most definitely me that asked you that, Sam.
Okay. I'm gonna write that down because I could have sworn I remember seeing something like that. Like it's like a quick place where I can test that, where you can just send this as a test email just to see how it looks and all that. Because when you're designing your email, you wanna see how it looks, So I may have to get back with you on that. So when I hit the save button, this is going to save. My email is done. When it gets sent to the prospect, they can click the download button, and it'll automatically open up the PDF. When I hit the X, it'll take me back to the blueprint. Now, some of y'all may be like, okay, what's this wait routine? After they get the welcome email, there's a wait routine. And when you click on it, you can just click on the gear icon, and notice this is going to be a wait routine. It's like a wait type, wait for a specific duration of time. You can put in a number and the number of days, weeks, months, days, hours, minutes, or months. And then you can say run at. So I'm saying wait for 1 day, then run at a specific time. And that'll be 8 a.m. And then I'll select my my time zone. And I'm Eastern Standard Time, right? And so it's like wait 1 day, then run next activity at 8 a.m. Okay. Then when I'm done, I just hit this back arrow. Now there's a lot more stuff we can do with that, but for time's sake, I just want to just show you like what you really need to get this off the ground. And then the same thing, I will come here to the nurture email, modify the email the same way you would, like I just showed you in the welcome email. But in the nurture email, you would be sending people to this page, okay? In your nurture email, and you nurture SMSs, right? You want to send people to this page. So let's go to this sales page and click on the gear icon. And we're going to just call this, my, lash kit offer 2, because this is my second lash kit offer. And I'm gonna hit the back arrow and that'll just save it, because I just want to make sure I have the right name so that when I create the links, I know exactly where to send them, Now here's another thing. When I get to this page, let me go back to the gear icon. This is the URL that I'm going to create. It's going to be this URL / plus the lash kit offer. So I'm just going to copy this, and save it into my notepad along with this lash kit offer. So it's going to basically be http sites.https://sites.bizsite.net/mysite975 /lash kit offer 2. This is the entire URL that I would give to the public. Okay. If you have a Facebook ad, you'll be sending people to your other page, not to this page, But this is the link you would put like in your email, your SMS text. So when you send somebody a text, you would paste this in the actual text, right? So that's the reason why I kind of copied it here so I can have it, right? So now I can hit this back arrow. So when I'm inside this nurture email, I can click on the gear icon, hit edit text. It's going to open up the email, the first nurture email. And, I would still do the same thing that I told y'all in the first email, how I put my name, put my email, did a merge field, but you see here where it says, there should be something here where it says insert link, right? No, that's an insert link to follow on Instagram. There should be insert general category, insert, where is it? Oh, okay. So I get it. So basically on this page, on this email, you don't put your link because you're just nurturing them. It's just like, you're kind of indoctrinating them about who you are, what your business is, what you do, insert the tip of trick, all that, insert the audience, the tip of trick, but we're not inserting a link on this particular page. There's an insert link to follow you on Instagram, right? So that you can have another way of reaching out to them. But there's no insert link to the page. So we can actually, you still would save this and put your name and your email and you would use the merge field over here and the merge field for the email and all that. You might still want to put in a pre-header, right? So being that there's no link there, I might as well just, because I thought there was a link in there, but I guess I misread that. We can actually just delete that. Not the email, we just want to delete the link. So I can click on the line rather and delete the connector. Because there's nothing in this email that points to the second sales page. Okay, we're just nurturing them. So now when I get to this SMS, this is where you would put your message, for your SMS. And if I'm not mistaken, because there was a typo we made, there should be a message in here. And I think Jessica said y'all should have the PDF, and that PDF should have the message that goes in this SMS, right? And that's what you want to put. You want to copy and paste that here. But for the phone number, I want to show y'all how this phone number field works, because you don't know the phone number. Remember how we're sending out an email, but we don't know the email to send, right? So we have to use a variable, and that's what these data packages are for, right? We can click on my ebook offer. We want to choose the web form and form record, and we want to be like, okay, use the phone number. Now, that's the reason why we was asking for the phone number on the web form, is because we wanted to make sure we got their phone number so that we can send them an SMS message. Notice how it turns green. That means it copied it to the clipboard. I'm gonna come in here into this field, the phone number field, and I'm just gonna do paste. So it pastes the variable, and then I'm gonna be like, hey, I can even say like, hey, John, here's a cool point. So you see how where it says full name? I don't want to say, hey, Jane Doe. So I'm gonna click this back arrow till we go all the way back, and I'm gonna click on my ebook offer. I'm gonna select web form info, but instead of me choosing form record, I'm gonna choose contact info. So now it's gonna look at the contact record instead of the form record. And on the contact record, I can choose contact name, which is first and last name, or I could choose first name or last name. I could choose the first name and I can put in that variable and I can say, hey, Jane, check out, my offer. And then I can put the link. Remember that link that we copied over here? And I can just put that link right there, and I can send that out, hit the back out, and now that's done. Okay. Same thing with this wait routine. Hit the gear icon, right? I'm waiting 1 day. I just want to select my Eastern Standard Time, hit the back arrow, and I do the same thing. I want to come in and design this email, set that up. I already showed you how to do that email, so I don't want to go through it again to save just a little bit more time. Come back to this wait. Actually, let me check this one. Let me see if there's a link in here. I'm gonna put the gear icon and edit email. I want to see if there's a link to this second sales page. Everybody with me so far? Is this enough meat for you? Am I covering a lot of the items here? Insert. This offer will not last today. By now. I'm hanging in there. Awesome. Today's my second day. Awesome. Well, this video is definitely going to cover it. So even if y'all have to, if some of y'all have to go, feel free. This is definitely a lot to cover. Because remember, this is the whole funnel. It's every little aspect of the funnel, Insert desired outcome. Insert specific. I'm thinking where this buy today, that probably should be a link. This buy today needs to be a link. So I would just go down here and where it says buy today, I'll just highlight that. And over here to the left, there's going to be like a toolbar. And I'm just going to click on link. That's going to open that up. And I'm just going to paste the link right there. The same link that I copied, onto my notepad. And I'm just going to go to Target and I'm going to say open in a new window. Then hit OK. And notice how that's going to change to a link, and they can click on that. I can also just paste the link right here. Instead of it saying buy today, I can actually just I can say buy today, and then I can just actually just have the full link right there, and I can just do it like that, and just hit the save button and do all that good stuff like we did on the other emails, and be done. One of the reasons why this seems like a lot, Mimi, is because I'm doing a lot of explanation, so it's adding on to the length. But as you're doing it, like you just start flowing, and eventually, like I could put this together within, probably 30 minutes. It's just because I'm doing a lot of commentary and explaining and making sure everybody's following along. But I think it's about like 5 more minutes and we'll be done actually, because we're towards the end. So I hit save here, maybe 10 more minutes. And this is saving. And I can close this. Now I'm back to my blueprint. Sometimes when you're doing something for the first time, you're like, okay, it's all these steps. But once you see all the steps, you knock them out and it becomes oh yeah. Well, yeah, you don't have to retain it. That's the whole purpose of the video. Yeah, don't try to retain all this. Just watch the video and then follow along. And what we're going to do is we're going to actually break up this video too, so that you can have them in bite-sized pieces. We're going to give you the whole video, and then our editors are going to come in and break it up so that you can jump to different sections really, really quick and use it as a resource to kind of bounce back and forth. You know what I mean? So then, we got our wait routine, our emails, right? They point to these pages. Same thing with this sales page. This last nurture. We create that and points to this page the exact same way we did the other ones, right? And now when we come to the second sales page offer, we would do the exact same thing we did on the first sales page, right? I'm just going to click on edit. And I'm just going to connect it to my Shopify. Now, this time I'm not going to do no commentary. I'm just going to show you like how easy it is. And, click on the button, add the cart, boom. Here we go. And in this case, I'm not going to use a discount code. I'm done, Come down here, do the same thing, purchase, add the cart, choose the right product, done. Come down here, add the cart, pick the Shopify product, done, and then the last one here, click on it. And I could have just did a copy and paste. Like I could have just did it once and then just copy the button. Then I wouldn't have to create it all the time. And we're done. Hit save.
Hey, Sam, I got one more question. Since you're saving this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I've saved a couple things as like templates. However, how do I retrieve these in the case that I might want to use them like as a blueprint for a future, I guess, piece of my funnel?
Like for to extend the funnel or for a new funnel?
Either or, honestly. So for instance, my Tripwire page, I want to use it. Like, so I saved it as a template because I was going to use it on the second sales page since it's the same product. Obviously take some of the wording and change it, but I don't want to take the time to recreate the whole page. I'd rather just delete stuff out of it.
Yeah, so what you can do is you can just come over here to pages and just basically drag this content page on the canvas, so let's say I was going to add some additional things here, like maybe I wanted to connect this because I wanted this to be an upsell of some sort, right? I can, just click on it and then I just click on the gear icon, give it a page name. And then when I go to create page, right, this is where I can pick a template and I will go to marketplace or my account, depending on where you put it, and then reuse, like I did the same thing. I saved this, mine's is an opt-in page here, but I can, like if I think Monterey we saved a few for Monterey. Connect Deck doesn't have one, but you just go to your My Account, depending on where you saved it, and you'll see it here and you just hit select.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So the only way we can use it is with a brand new page, not a page that's already been created.
Yeah. So would you like to be able to like you see how I'm on this page right here? Would you like to be able to just go here to actions and say change template right here?
Yes.
Got it.
Yes, that would be perfect. If it's possible. If not, I can just reconnect the dots. It's fine.
No, we'll make that happen for you. Like that, to me, like that makes sense. Like, if it makes sense, it makes sense. And so I'm gonna put that on the list and see how, if that's something that I know the developers can do it, they can do a lot of stuff, I just need to find out how long it would take for them to do it. Okay. So I don't know if they'll be able to do it by this weekend or if they'll be able to have it done by like next week, Wednesday or next week, Tuesday. But I think that would be a good feature. That's the reason why we want to hear back from you all, because you help us make the application better. Yep.
Thank you.
No problem.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem. So I clicked. I'm just going to delete this back out. So I don't need it there. And so same thing. This is going to take me to the Shopify checkout and the Shopify checkout. Thank you. Now let's talk about this this particular event right here. If I click on, this is kind of like the event listener. So if I'm gonna click on the gear icon, and this is gonna open up the trigger. And notice how it says it's a purchase. Well, I want to know when a purchase happens. So I'm gonna select when a specific product is purchased. I'm just gonna select that and then hit continue. It's gonna open up a page. It's gonna say, okay, what product do you want me to listen for? I'm gonna hit add product. Here's the Shopify product right here. I'm gonna select it, say last kit, I'm done, you know? And so now that's listening. And when that listens for it, it's going to kick off this email. And I would just design this email the exact same way I've designed these other ones. Automation's over.
I have a question.
Sure.
With some of the templates, it's like they're kind of long and somewhat redundant. Is there a way, should we be able to delete some of it, or should we just keep it
Absolutely.
how? Okay.
Absolutely. So that's up to you, right? You know, like, so, because, you know, the copywriter wanted to write enough information just to kind of help you, you know, make the presentation. But let's say, for example, you know, we're in this Shopify, this sales page right here, right? And if I go up and I go here to edit, and let's say there's a section in here that I'm like, you know what, this is redundant. I don't need it. You know, let's say I'm okay with this one and this one, but I don't want maybe.
That's the exact page I'm talking about too.
Yeah.
So like if you go up, when they talk about the features, we already talk about that in the first like 2 parts. Like right there, we talk about it, and then above. But see, when we get right here, it's like that's too much. You're saying the same thing again.
Well, the goal is you don't want to say the same thing again. That's the key, right? So now you got to really think about the way you're writing it, because so you want to actually, it's called like, you're reiterating, but you're reiterating to pull out another aspect of what you're talking about, right? But that's neither here nor there. I think what you're really asking is, can I delete a section, you know? And the answer is yes. You can just come right over here to this orange box and just come over here and just hit delete, and that'll remove the section, you know. And these sections also, you can also move them around. So like, you know, if I wanted to duplicate this section, I can just hit duplicate and it'll duplicate that section, you know. If I wanted to move this section, I could copy this. I can come over here and I can say copy, and then I can scroll all the way down and I can say, you know, paste it above this region. You know, I can say paste before or paste after. So if I say paste before, it'll paste it, you know. You can do stuff like that. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it did. Because I just didn't know whether or not we had to stick with what the template was, and we could edit all the way, not just the words, but just the format. Because again, once you only could say so much. Exactly. So once you kind of get it out.
Yeah, I don't think Monterey's gonna come chase you down with a whip, you know, and be like, oh no, keep that section, you know what I mean? So yeah, if for your product, you know, if you think it's a little bit overkill, you know, I mean, you know your product more than anybody. So and so feel free to, you know, tweak it, right? Because ultimately you want to own it. You want to own the page. You want to own the layout. You want to own. It needs to be your brand, your message. We're just kind of giving you a push and like a start in the right direction. But feel free to kind of like to make it your own and present it in the way that really makes sense for you, you know, and your brand. What else? Oh wow, the call is still on. Left for a meeting. Yeah, this one was a little bit long. This one was a little bit long, and I'm perfectly okay with it because I just want to make sure I cover everything. We're actually done. I actually covered everything. You know, once you save everything, then you would just basically launch. You would launch this. We've been grinding since 12:30. Yeah. You would basically just click on this, the publish, like the rocket, and then launch, right? Now, there's one more thing I want to tell you. When you go into your Facebook, so for those of you who have you created your Facebook ad, you just want to come over here to your opt-in page, and you want to come over here to the gear icon. And this is the link you're going to send them to. You're going to send them to this link plus this. So another way to do it, you can just come here and click on this and click on the eye and choose live mode. Instead of test mode, you want to choose live mode because now you're going live. So you click on live mode. And what that's going to do, it's going to like, you know, it's publishing, it's building up the automation. And then it's going to open it up in a new browser. A browser tab. And notice this is the link you want to give, you know. This is the full URL. So this URL is what you want to copy and paste in your Facebook ad where it asks you for the website. Okay.
Okay, I
And,
have a question.
and that's where you would send people. So when they click on your ad, that's where they're going to go. But here's another key point, right? You can also, like, let's say I go into my Facebook page, right? I go into my Facebook page. I can actually just take that URL and just post it, you know. I can just create a link and say, hey guys, you know, hey ladies, you know, check out, you know, my, you know, offer, you know, or something like that. And I can just paste the URL here and it's going to take me to this page, right? What I'm going to also do is show y'all, I know the time is late now, but I'm going to create just a separate video to show y'all how to make a certain image show up right here when you share this, you know, and the text and all that, so that it fits what you know, your brand. And because you can actually put a custom image right here that automatically, you can do it right from Connect Deck, so that when you share this link, it'll automatically pull a specific image, your SEO data. That's basically what this is. This is all SEO data right here. But right now, I didn't set up my SEO because in Connect Deck, I can come over here to this page, to this opt-in page. I can click on the gear icon. I can go to edit page. And I can set my SEO. So I can just, you know, over here, just you're going to see a gear icon to the right. I'm going to click on that, and it brings up page properties. And one of those page properties is SEO settings. I can put in a title, description, keywords, and images, right? And that's your SEO data. I can even add tracking codes, you know, so like I can put my Facebook pixel here and some other pixels, but there's another place where you will put your pixels, and I'm going to show you that. I wouldn't necessarily put it here, my pixels, but like your SEO, you can actually put in your title, your images, your image link, your image URL rather, so that when you share a link on Facebook, it'll actually show the image. It'll basically show whatever information you put here as a title, the description, and the keywords and all the image. That's what will automatically show when you paste the URL. It'll show that image and all that other stuff. SEO is real simple. People think it's like really, really complicated, but that's all SEO is.
So Samuel, with this link right here, are we able to park a link, a regular domain name over it? The only reason why I'm asking is it says bizsite.net. So
Yep.
I, of course, want individuals thinking, you know, that it's something else. You know what I'm saying when I say that?
Yeah, you'll be able to do, you want to do something like this, like, you know, custom domain.
Correct.
Right.
Okay.
.com.
Right.
So let me show y'all, you know, that I actually have another video for that, but I can show y'all really, really quickly is that there's two places you're going to have to make that change. So in Connect Deck, you know, once everything is done, and I close this, you would just come over here, right over here to the left, and you're going to, in the main menu, you're going to see domains. So I'm going to close the funnel here. So you're going to see domains. So you're gonna have one domain here. So you just click on that, and then you're gonna click over here where it says change domain.
Okay.
And I would click on this change domain, put in my password, and it's gonna ask me for the domain that I want to attach. Right?
Okay.
That's one thing you gotta do. The second thing you gotta do is you gotta go to wherever your domain is. So for example, if your domain is on GoDaddy, mine is on Domains Made Easy. Domainsmadeeasy.com.
Mine is cheap. Okay.
Oops, let me see. Domainsmadeeasy.com. And you would have to go, some of y'all might be GoDaddy, some of yours might be someplace else. You would log into your account, you know, and you would locate your products. You go to my products, and then all your domains should show up. So, you know, I got a bunch of domains. So I'm gonna go to my my domain shadeparish.com. I'm gonna click on DNS, right? And now it opens up my DNS, right? This is my Shea Parish, and I'm gonna change my A record. Well, actually, you may not want to change your A record because like you see here, my A record is pointing to Shopify. And then my www is also pointing to Shopify, right? Mm-hmm. So we don't want to change those because
because we needed to stay connected to our Shopify store.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, changing your DNS, yes, will help with email deliverability. So like you see here, I have like you're gonna need like a DKIM, and that was for like. Let me first answer this first question because I kind of got like distracted. I apologize. So the www still points to Shopify. I don't want to change that because remember, right now, if somebody types in shayparish.com, it's going to take them to my Shopify store.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? And I don't want to change that, right? So what I'm going to do is I would end up creating another CNAME record, right? So I will go here to add, and I'm going to create a CNAME record, and I'm going to call my CNAME record. What am I calling? Maybe I'll probably call it offers.
Right?
Say that again. I may call it. No, because I'm creating a subdomain.
Okay.
I'm gonna call it offers.shayparish.com, and I'm gonna say it points to. This is the IP address. What's the IP address it needs to be? It needs to be this IP address.
Now, which IP address is that? The IP address to
connect that. Exactly. Okay. Right? Because that's what you want, right? You want when they type this in, it takes them to Connect Deck server. But when they type this in, www.shayparish.com or shayparish.com, it takes them to Shopify, right? And then I just change this to custom and make this 600. And I think I got to add a period at the end of this. I think it's offers.shayparish.com. And nope, take the period off. Okay, I did something wrong.
Is it the at? It says enter.
Oh no! I know. This needs to be an A record, right? This needs to be an A record, and I need to put a period at the end. Is offers.shayparish.com with a period at the end, and it points to this domain, to this IP address. Now I can hit save, and so now when somebody types in, it may not come up immediately. You got to give it some time. Now when I type in offers.shayparish.com, right, it's going to automatically point, right? It's like right now it's still propagating. It takes sometimes like a couple of minutes for it to propagate. But then it will point to the server. But remember over here when I was telling y'all inside of Connect Deck, when I put in my password, and then it takes me to here, it's going to say enter your domain, and that's what I'm going to enter. I'm going to enter everything except the wwws. I'm just going to enter offers.shayparish.com, and I'm going to hit next. So now when people type offers.shayparish.com, it's going to automatically take them to my funnel.
Got it. Okay.
Makes sense?
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
Right. And what we're going to actually do, I'm actually going to do a class next week specifically on custom domains, because that's, for those of you who are launching, that's something you're going to need, so I think I might just make that a class all about, just like I'll probably do like SEO, domains, and just cover like 5 or 6 topics within that one session, because I don't have to spend a whole hour on domains and I don't have to spend a whole hour on SEO. But I think just like those are just like some really good follow-up conversations once your funnel is done. Because like once your funnel is done, now you need a custom domain. Once your funnel is done, now you need SEO. Once your funnel is done, right, there's some other little tricks that you want to add, or just updates you want to add to really finalize things. All right.
Yes.
I want to open the floor for some questions. I could probably take about someone asked, Sam, does editing the DNS help with your email deliverability? Yes. So things like DKIM, things like SPF does help with your email deliverability. Yeah. And we can have that discussion as well. I can actually, I'll throw that in next week as well. Because again, those conversations, they don't require a whole hour. They just, they don't require a whole hour, so I can cover those within 1 hour period. Can I still process without my products being imported yet? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Can you unmute your mic and exit, over the virtual, just for clarification? Yeah, you don't need your products to finish the funnel, but you shouldn't. Are you having India? Are you having product import problems? because, oh, I think that was you who said you was having an import problem. Yeah, I imported this morning and still nothing. So, okay, yeah, let me look at it. Yeah, send me an email. Let's schedule
You
a
have to
call.
wait, India, because I had did mine the other day and I just got all mine up. So you got to give it some time because you have a lot of products in your store.
Oh, how many products you got?
I know I had over 150, so mine took a little while.
Got it. Well, actually, but when you did that, that was a while ago, right? That with your products, right, Nunu?
No, I did mine the other day. When I
Okay.
uploaded mine, it didn't come right away like the same day. It took about a day or two.
Okay, got it. Okay, so
Mine took
Mariah,
24 hours.
okay,
I got like 30 products.
okay. Yeah, I know somebody has 500 products, and I was like, okay, great. I definitely want to get some feedback from whoever that was that had 500 products. All right, I sent the email for a virtual meeting. Okay, Mariah, I'm gonna check. As soon as I get off this call, I'm gonna check, and I'm gonna reply back to you personally. You know, I want to make sure nothing got lost in the email. Any other questions? I know we went a little bit overboard, so I apologize. I think some of y'all, I was like, hey, after the meeting we can meet, but this went a little bit longer. So yeah, Tamara, I'm gonna super quick meeting as well. Okay, great. I'm gonna respond to all of your emails and try to set something up. Today is, yeah, we probably need to set something up like today, because I know tomorrow I don't think I'll be available. But so if we can set something up, you know, I'm gonna send y'all all an email real quick within like the hour, and just say, hey, are you available like at 4:05? Are you available at 4:15? Just to quickly meet with you all, and just help you all kind of get through. Can we meet today since I'm locked out? Yes, actually, Lakia, if I'm going to send you a link right now because Monterey also mentioned you to me too. So I'm going to send you something right now because you know when Monterey speaks, you know we got to jump. So, so I'm going to send you a link right now, Lakia. So I just sent you a link, Lakia. I'm about to end this meeting, so if you can jump on there, I should be on there within the next 3 minutes. And the same thing for you, Shalissa. I'm going to send you a link as well. And then I'm going to send everybody else I'm going to respond to your emails. And then we can get rocking and rolling. All right, so I just sent one to you, Shalissa, as well. So everybody else, I'm gonna check the email. I'm gonna respond to you and set up something. You know, I'm gonna get me like some lunch once I get off the phone with Lakia and Shalissa, and then I'll connect with you all and set up something like really, really quick. Like say, hey, are you available in like 5 minutes or 20 minutes? You know, I want to kind of make all these calls before 5 p.m. today. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, awesome. So thank you so much. I know this was long. I'm glad we recorded it. Because this was a lot of information, but I think it's I actually know this is the information that you all need, that you wanted, that you've been waiting for. So I'm gonna give it to you. And then our editors are gonna like splice up this video, you know, to make it in bite-sized pieces so that you can kind of navigate quickly to the spots that, you know, you want to get to without having to listen to the whole video just to locate the piece. So, but we're gonna have that as soon as Zoom is done encoding it. I'm gonna make it available. Should be available within the group within 90 minutes. All right. Thank you so much. I apologize for the technical difficulties we had starting off, but I'm glad that we got everything working. And I'm so glad that you all stuck around and stayed on the call. You know, so we're happy about that. So have a wonderful day. And I look forward to seeing you all next week. In the office hours, we're going to be meeting at 6:30 p.m. for those of you who want to come to the night session, which is, you know, or the late afternoon session at 6:30 p.m. Take care, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend, and see you next week.
Thank you.
You're welcome.